Hi guys, it is Monday of week 4 and we are going to be on page 221 today, and you need to have your outline available from Friday, the one that we did together. So I'll show you what I mean. Let's look here. Can you believe it's already week 4 of mobile learning? It's kind of crazy. Now this is today's paper, page 221, but I want to look back at what we did on Friday. Language Friday class. So this is what we did Friday. Everybody was at language class. That's so great. So we have an outline here that we did on Friday. We have Newton's childhood, his education and salvation experience. We have Newton's accomplishments and more of Isaac Newton's accomplishments. And then the conclusion, he found God as the masterful creator. So what we're going to do today is we're going to follow along what the book has for the person who wrote the paper on Charles Wesley, and then we're going to try to emulate that. So I'm going to actually do 2 of the paragraphs with you, and I'm going to ask you to do 2 of the paragraphs as well. So go ahead and go to page 221, and I'm going to turn there as well. I'm going to go to language, and we are on page 221 today. It says, here are 2 paragraphs Spencer wrote from his outline in the first draft of his report. And that's what we're doing today. We are doing a first draft of our research paper. So here's his outline. Wesley's accomplishments as a minister and his marriage. He became a minister in England. He visited in prisons and he held open air meetings. He helped Brother John from the Methodist movement. He married Sally Gwynn and traveled with him. She traveled with him on preaching trips, and they had 10 children, but only 3 survived. Wesley's accomplishments as a hymn writer. He wrote hymns right after he was saved. He wrote about 6,500 hymns, and one of the ones that we really know is Hark the Herald Angels Sing. So this is what Spencer wrote from those 2 outline paragraphs. Let's look here. Charles became a minister in England. He visited in prisons. He held open-air meetings. He and his brother John helped to form the Methodist movement. He married Sally in 1749. She traveled with him on many of his preaching trips. They had 10 children, but only 3 of them survived. Now, I want you guys to think, and some of you guys are probably already thinking, wait, this doesn't sound right. Like there's some spelling errors and things like that. Remember, we're just writing a rough draft today. So if it doesn't sound right, then we can go back and revise later. So it's just the drafting today. Let's look at paragraph 2. Charles started writing hymns right after he was saved. He continued to write hymns for the rest of his life. He wrote about 6,500 hymns, and many of them were published in collections. Some of his most famous hymns are And Can It Be, Oh, for a Thousand Tongues to Sing, and Hark the Herald Angels Sing. Oh, for a Thousand Tongues to Sing is my favorite hymn. Now, some of you guys are thinking again, wait, that last sentence shouldn't be there, but tomorrow we're going to look at proofreading. So this is what we're going to do today. You and I are going to write our paragraphs on Isaac Newton's accomplishments together. And you guys are going to write the 2 paragraphs on, let's see, I want to go back here. Friday language class, where's that? Language for Friday. You guys are going to write the paragraphs of Newton's education and salvation experience and his childhood. So we're going to write the accomplishment paragraphs together, those 2, and you guys are going to write the 2 paragraphs. Now, because we have an outline, it should not take very long at all. In fact, it should maybe take you maybe 20 minutes, probably not even that long, okay? Because remember, it's just drafting today. Drafting is like your very first draft. So let's go back here. So you need your spiral notebook, please, so have that available. So you're going to get that out. Now, I am going to have to go back and forth. So let's see. This is what I want to do. One moment. Okay, so what I've done is I've copied and pasted our outline onto today's lesson so I don't have to keep switching back and forth. So we've got this paragraph. Our first one says, Newton's accomplishments, mathematical principles of nature, gravity, and discovered calculus and is a member of parliament for the Cambridge University. Okay. Then the other one says, knighted by the Queen, calculated the speed of sound waves and invented the reflecting telescope. Now, what I see something right away that I think would be good to do. I would like to take this sentence right here, or this fact, and this fact, and I would like to switch them because the first paragraph talks more about, so we're going to switch. I'm just going to draw an arrow right there. The first paragraph talks more about his like discoveries and his math kind of going all together. Then the second one was more of his accomplishments that didn't have to necessarily do with his discoveries. So we are going to do our first paragraph. Now, this is just a rough draft. When we do these paragraphs, it says write a topic sentence for each paragraph. I'll highlight that right there. Write a topic sentence for each paragraph that tells the main idea of that paragraph. Then we're going to use the details from your note cards or from our outline that we use to write sentences that tell about the main idea. Well, I want to look at this first set of accomplishments right here, the one highlighted in pink. These are more accomplishments of mathematical discoveries and like calculations that he made and things like that. So we're going to think of a topic sentence that has to do with that. Can anyone think? Let's see. You probably already have one. We're going to try to come up with one, or I'm going to come up with one, and we'll see what happens. How about Isaac Newton was known for many things. We're going to write that. Isaac Newton was known for many things. And the word things I don't want to use, but tomorrow we'll do our revisions and we'll take that word things out. Especially for his mathematical discoveries. Okay, so that's a topic sentence. So we know that this sentence, this paragraph is going to be about Isaac Newton's mathematical discoveries. So we don't have to go into very huge detail here. This is a research report, but it's kind of like just a little overview. On Friday, we went together and we said that he discovered the mathematical principles of nature, which include gravity. He discovered calculus, and he calculated the speed of sound waves. So if we look at this first sentence here, what could we say? It's not a complete sentence, so we have to make it one. Mathematical principles of nature. We could say he discovered, and I know we use the word discovered, so tomorrow we'll think of a better word for that. He discovered many awesome things. Ooh, we're using things again. We'll change it tomorrow. Many awesome things. Ooh. Wow, there we go. Many awesome things about nature he learned about how nature and math go together. Don't worry, guys, this is just a rough draft, so it doesn't sound right to you. We'll fix it tomorrow, okay? And he also, or let's say these discoveries led to him exploring and explaining gravity. Isaac Newton's pretty cool. He kind of talked about the laws of motion, and like once something gets set in motion, it doesn't stop unless another force gets acted upon it. And so Isaac Newton, if you think about a lot of the scientific things that you know about or that you will learn about, Isaac Newton was he was one of the leading discoveries, like the leading scientists who discovered these things. So let's reread it, see what we have. Isaac Newton was known, I made a mistake already, known for many things, especially for his mathematical discoveries. He discovered many awesome things about nature. he learned about how nature and math go together. These discoveries led to him exploring and explaining gravity. So we talked about gravity, we talked about mathematics and nature, and, oh, not calculus yet, we talked about gravity. Now let's talk about calculus and then calculating the speed of sound waves. Let's see. He was the original, and don't worry about spelling. I might spell something wrong and that's okay. That's why we have tomorrow. Mathematician, I'm not even sure I spelled that right. I'm a pretty good speller, but sometimes when I write, my spelling kind of goes out the window, and that's okay. That's why we have spell check, and that's why we have people proofread our work. He was the original mathematician of calculus. And I'm going to add this last sentence, and calculated the speed of sound waves. Now, we don't have a sentence to kind of sum this paragraph up, but what I want to do, because this is just a draft, we're going to leave it there. We're going to kind of lead into our next paragraph. And our next paragraph talks about more of his accomplishments, but not so much his scientific discoveries, more of personal accomplishments that he had. So we want to segue, or we want to lead into this next paragraph with information coming from the previous paragraph. So we can say, not only was Isaac Newton known, so I'm going to indent here, not only was Isaac Newton known for his mathematical discoveries, and scientific discoveries, we use discover a lot, so we'll kind of change that tomorrow. He also had many personal accomplishments. Do you see how this topic sentence kind of led into what we're going to be talking about? It summed up the last paragraph and it's leading into what we're talking about now. It says, not only was Isaac Newton known for his mathematical and scientific discoveries, last paragraph, he also had many personal accomplishments. That's what this paragraph is going to be about. So don't worry if you can't, if I'm going too fast writing for you, just pause it and go ahead and copy it down and then come back, okay? So let's look here. So he was a member of Parliament for Cambridge, he was knighted by the Queen, and he invented the reflecting telescope. So we can say it just like that, 3 sentences. He was a member of Parliament for Cambridge University. He was a member of Parliament. Not sure I spelled that right, but we'll check tomorrow. For Cambridge University. Period. Let's look at the next one. He was knighted, or he invented the reflecting telescope, which kind of goes in the last paragraph, but that's okay. He invented the reflecting telescope. He was even, period, he was even knighted by the Queen, and that's why he is known as Sir Isaac Newton. Okay. So I want you guys to look. You're probably going to have to pause and copy, and that's okay. But when you come back, I want you to look at these paragraphs. We're going to count the number of sentences in these paragraphs, and I'm going to do that by looking at periods, where periods are. So we have one sentence here. Isaac Newton was known for many things, especially his mathematical discoveries. Second sentence, he discovered many awesome things about nature. Third sentence, he learned about how nature and math go together. Fourth sentence, these discoveries led to him exploring and explaining gravity. Fifth sentence, he was the original mathematician of calculus and calculated the speed of sound waves. Now, when I ask you guys to write paragraphs, like for your summaries, just anytime you write a paragraph, I'm asking you to write 3 to 5 good sentences. Now, most paragraphs, when you get into higher grades, like 6th and junior high and so on, you're going to need to have 5 to 9 good sentences. So I think that starting with 5 is a really good starting point for you. Let's look at our second paragraph. We have, not only was Isaac Newton known for his mathematical and scientific discoveries, he also had many personal accomplishments. That's 1. He was a member of the Parliament for Cambridge University. 2. He invented the reflecting telescope. 3. He was even knighted by the Queen, and that's why he is known as Sir Isaac Newton. Now, that's only 4. But a couple of our sentences are compound sentences. So I think just having 4 there would work, and it sounds well, and it flows pretty well too. So what you're going to do tonight is this. I'm going to flip back to Friday's outline for you, and you guys should all have that together. We have done, and I'm going to check it off. We've done his accomplishments, and we've done more of his accomplishments. More of like, these are his scientific accomplishments, and these are his personal accomplishments. So now what you guys are going to do tonight, and no conclusion yet, what you're going to do tonight is you are going to write 2 paragraphs. And I'm going to highlight these 2 paragraphs for you. You are going to write a paragraph for Newton's childhood. Don't forget a topic sentence, okay? Then you're going to write, and listen, guys, we have 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So if you do a topic sentence, guess what? That's 5 sentences right there. So easy, okay? Then you're going to write a paragraph for Newton's education and salvation experience. Now, there's only 3 here. 1, 2, 3. And when you add a topic sentence, that's 4. So see if you can stretch it a little bit and write a 5th sentence as well. This is what I'd like you to do. You're going to write it on a spiral piece or in your spiral notebook. Once you've done that, if you have the capability, I would like you to take a picture of it, maybe with your iPad or even your parent's cell phone, and I'd like you to either email it to me, shauna.rossini@christianunified.org. I'll say that again, shauna.rossini@christianunified.org, or send it to my cell phone, okay? And your parents have my cell phone number. If they don't, they can email me and they can ask me for it. So tonight, what I want you to do is to just handwrite those 2 paragraphs for me. So when you're finished, you'll have 4 paragraphs. You'll have Newton's childhood, his education and salvation experience, his accomplishments, and his second accomplishments. And then we'll go ahead and we'll do the intro and the conclusion tomorrow. Okay, guys, we'll see you later. Goodbye.